Still, Mika Häkkinen is pulling away. Now, the gap was 23.3 seconds. It was over 33. Wurz has a look at Deniz. Schumacher has a look at Wurz, because Schumacher's in a glorious...
Oh, yes, he's going to go up the inside of him. Let him through, Alexander. Don't get silly.
Oh.
Don't be silly.
What fantastic! What guts, what determination, but Schumacher goes again. And this time Wurz has to give way. Well, that was real bottle.
It was great. I have to say, I thought it was brilliant. He wouldn't give way, would he? I could just see him losing a front wheel. In the end, he had to give way, but actually, full credit. Now he's outbraked himself and gone across the chicane. Here we go again. Michael sees he's been slowed up. He's lost his momentum, and then, well, Alexander just won't give. Now, I have to say, 99 times out of 100, at least one, if not both of these cars would have been out of the race. I would think Michael was gobsmacked. He just kept on it. And now Michael said, OK, if you didn't like that one, try this one for size. And Alexander Wurz ends up losing out. But full credit to him. It was brilliant that he just stuck with it.
And now Alexander Wurz will be coming in to change his tyres and wheels. Well, do you remember what Alexander Wurz did to Frentzen at Rio? Now, here is Schumacher.
Schuey in the pits, obviously some kind of problem. They did make contact, as we know, but that is an unscheduled stop. We believe the engine has gone off. Michael Schumacher could be out of the race. I wonder if that's damaged a drive shaft or something like that.
Oh, Michael Schumacher retires from the Monaco Grand Prix, 3 times winner, having just thrilled and delighted his fans all around the world with that brilliant passing manoeuvre.
He's getting back in again. Ross Brawn said to him, look, it's only this, whatever it is, we'll fix it. So Schumi climbing back in the cockpit, doing up the 6-point harness, plugging in the radio to live for another day, but no chance of a result.
Well, while all this is going on, of course, Mika Häkkinen is on his 39th lap out of 78. Roughly half the race completed. Well, exactly half the race completed. Half of it to go. And now the Benettons are running second and third with Wurz and Fisichella. And Eddie Irvine is the leading Ferrari now because he's up into 4th position. Mika Salo moves up into 5th position. Oh, that's what happened to Schumacher.
It's a puncture. No, it's not. It's a broken rear wishbone or something like that, or the rear toe. No, yeah. The wheel's out of line. It's the rear tie rod or wishbone. They can change that quite quickly. Clearly, that happened in the incident with Alexander Wurz. Well, Wurz came off best, didn't he? Stuck with it against my advice, and he came off best.
So, and he's still running. He's 25 seconds behind Mika Häkkinen on lap 40 out of 78. And you can see the Ferrari mechanics.
Yeah, it's the rear track rod. It's quite easy to change. They'll have them pre-fitted, and they'll be set to a certain length to make sure that the car handles well, but it'll take them 3 or 4 minutes as a minimum.
What a pity from our point of view, because we had the prospect of Michael Schumacher starting to make inroads, hopefully from his point of view, into Mika Häkkinen's lead. Well, that certainly won't happen now. I can't see Alexander Wurz catching Mika Häkkinen any more than I can see Fisichella catching him. But there's always the fact that it's half the Monaco Grand Prix still to run. We've seen David Coulthard retire. Mika Häkkinen has been remarkably calm, smooth and steady. Here he is to prove the point, coming through to complete his 40th lap. Now, he was 26 seconds ahead of Alexander Wurz, and he was lapping slower than the Austrian. Climbing up the hill towards us, in the background you can see the Prost as Michael Schumacher imperturbably sits there, not getting rattled. He's obviously stressed, but he's just got to be calm and let the mechanics work on the car. Then he can demonstrate his brilliance and expertise. Pedro Diniz climbs the Beau Rivage, still ahead of Jacques Villeneuve. And there is Wurz.
Well, it'll be showtime for Michael Schumacher. That's the only reason to come back out. He's not going to score any points unless we have one of those wild Monacos where virtually nobody makes it to the finish line. But some would say, why risk a driver's life when there's nothing to be gained? But he's here to entertain, and I think it's right they put the man back on the racetrack.
Well, what a superstar this Alexander Wurz is. I've been saying it race after race. Remember that he finished in 4th position in Brazil, he finished in 4th position in Argentina, he finished 4th in the last Grand Prix at Spain. that Ferrari is now well out of the results, unless, as you say, Martin, something very dramatic happened in terms of retirements.
Well, it must have been the second incident where Michael damaged this, because, of course, it was his right-hand side that touched Wurz in the hairpin itself. So it must have been when he actually did pass Alexander Wurz. They made contact in Portier just before the tunnel, and Schumi out to rejoin the racetrack in last place, of course.
16th and last.
3 laps down.
Well, even Michael Schumacher can't do anything about that, but he's certainly going to show us how to drive a Ferrari around Monaco, and how to make the fastest lap, I have little doubt. Now, the fastest lap at the moment is Mika Häkkinen, 1 minute 22.9, which is 1.9 seconds off Michael Schumacher's 1994 lap record in the Benetton Ford.
Yeah, there's a good wave of young drivers in Formula One now, and some more knocking on the door. But I mean, that's something to talk about down the pub tonight, and a lot of people will. You know, should Wurz hold his ground and be out of the Grand Prix, or should he, you know, live for another day? And it's a difficult call. Yes, psychologically, Michael now knows where he stands with Wurz, and Michael was very good at doing that when he first came into Formula One, of course. But you know, Wurz could have had a podium.
Yeah, but while you had the climbing irons on, we were chatting about that particular incident, and I mean, from Wurz's point of view, a relative newcomer into the game, to sort of take on the big daddy like that, I mean, it shows he's got no fear of anybody. He's
got a lot of confidence. I remember I did a test for Benetton last year, and I sat talking to Gerhard Berger. Alexander Wurz was sort of the kid around the place, just coming up test driving with him. Yeah. And he waltzes in and sits straight down and interrupts our conversation and starts talking. I'm thinking, that young guy's got an incredible amount of confidence. But there you see it now, Michael, an opportunist move. Wurz did well, ready to keep going, but well, at the time I called it, I thought he should have let him go, because I could see it ending in tears. And of course it did end up in tears, and it was that last point there where they made the final contact that damaged both their cars, sadly.
Sure. And on what happened to Alexander Wurz in the tunnel, we didn't actually see the start of it all, but that too could have been pretty nasty.
That is the worst accident you can have around here. To lose it in the tunnel, there's no control. There's quite a nasty turn in there, as you know, and it's all downhill from there. And there was, instinctively, you do keep turning the steering wheel, but he had no wheels left, did he, of course?
And, I mean, Michael Schumacher, right at the end there, I mean, he almost denied Deniz his points, didn't he? What did you make of that?
A bit of desperation, I think, wasn't it?